Tonight on KGW News, the Trailblazers owner tells Portland to pony up, with some council members pushing back.
So it makes sense for him to also meet us in the middle on an investment here.
It feels like we're making a pretty big investment by staying here and paying these tax rates.
Plus, a big improvement in wait times when you call 911. But see how it appears Portland's emergency services are still falling short.
And a head-on crash sends a teen firefighter to the ICU.
I pull up and I see a red truck and I go, oh my goodness, that truck looks familiar.
Why his brother was one of the first on the scene. Then later, meet the Oregon Zoo's newest resident and learn how this is a case of wildlife matchmaking. Good evening, everyone. David Molka with you on this Wednesday. We want to get right to breaking news and these new images from Venezuela, where two powerful earthquakes hit just minutes apart. At least 32 people have been confirmed dead, with some 700 injured, with those numbers expected to rise. Some buildings in the country, as you see, completely collapsing following the twin 7.2 and 7.5 quakes. Those are some of the strongest to strike the country in more than a century. Tonight, rescue operations are ongoing, with power and communications down in spots in the country's main airport damaged and closed. The U.S. and other nations now offering aid and assistance. We will keep you updated. To our top local story tonight, and the Moda Center, where new Blazers owner Tom Dundon is standing firm on his belief that public money should be used to renovate the arena, not more investments from him and his ownership group. Now, keep in mind the city owns Moda and has to approve a deal by December in order to unlock hundreds of millions in state and county funds, and proponents say in order to secure Rip City's future. Evan Watson reports.
Above the Moda Center floor, new Blazers owner Tom Dundon promised one thing. It's a new Blazers era, and he won't tank for better draft picks.
Sounds terrible. They're trying to lose a little bit, and I'm not doing that. So if we'll try to win.
Dundon spoke at the Portland Metro Chamber's annual meeting. Most of the questions,
when you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Were far from hard-hitting.
How do you kick back? How do you relax?
But with the city locked in negotiations with the Blazers over a Moda Center renovation, Dundon explained why he doesn't believe he should pay for part of an arena upgrade, arguing for full public funding.
It feels like we're making a pretty big investment by staying here and paying these tax rates and agreeing to these fees for dollars that go back into the building. It's not that we're taking the money. So.
Portland Mayor Keith Wilson wants the city to chip in at least $120 million. He criticized city council members, saying their indecision will only raise that cost.
But we're slowing this down now. We expected to be doing construction this summer. So I want us to say we can't take our foot off the gas and overthink and over-talk.
A Moda Center renovation could include opportunities to develop the surrounding Albina community, a historically black neighborhood that was torn apart by decades of urban planning. Albina Vision Trust Director Winta Johannes shared her development vision to hundreds of city leaders.
Preventing a mothballed arena is not brave leadership. It is the floor for meeting our collective minimum responsibility.
While some fans and Portlanders are pushing back on using public funds for the Moda Center, Wilson argues it's the city's responsibility, saying he's told NBA Commissioner Adam Silver that Portland will get it done, with a few expectations for the future.
We say, okay, we're going to do this, but we need the All-Star game. We need the WNBA All-Star game. We are talking about this in fixed terms. At
Evan Watson, KGW News.
Money for our schools!
While Dundon was addressing business leaders inside, this was happening outside. A rally with some 50 or so participants calling for more private investment. Some of them vehemently against the mayor's suggestion that some funds from the voter-approved Clean Energy Fund be used to pay for some of the upgrades. And 3 city councilors, all up for re-election, we should note, were among those pushing back.
I am definitely looking for more private funding. People will say that we own this building, we should be paying for all of it, but this is the source of value for the owner of the team, and so it makes sense for him to also meet us in the middle on an investment here.
City Council is now working toward a broad outline on a Moda lease to guide the negotiations. As we noted, in order to unlock state funds, a deal must be reached by December. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, a Southwest Washington woman missing since last Friday has now been found dead in Cowlitz County. A witness found Lori Moore's car upside down in Arkansas Creek, that's just west of Castle Rock. The sheriff's office saying they believe she drove off the road through a field, then flipped and ended up in the creek. In Salem, a man is dead after being hit by a freight train. The crash was just after 4:30 this afternoon along Turner Road near I-5. Police have not identified the man, but believe he was in his early 50s. The train was traveling south on the tracks beneath I-5 and was not able to stop in time. Union Pacific Police are now investigating. And Portland police have arrested a suspect accused of stabbing a man near Union Station this morning. The victim was taken to the hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Police later arresting 32-year-old Ladarian Moe about 30 minutes later and just blocks away. It's not clear yet if he knew the victim. Let's switch to a live look now, looking over Pioneer Courthouse Square on this Wednesday night. 70 degrees after another day where we were feeling the summer heat. Matt's here to talk about the big cool down and the rain headed our way.
Yeah, it's a rare commodity in the month of June frequently. Certainly this June, we've only had a couple of days with rain, but right now it's still clear. 71 degrees down in Salem. It's a really nice night. You can feel that the air is just a bit cooler than it's been over the last couple of days. And in fact, we are 7 degrees cooler in Portland, 9 degrees cooler in Scappoose compared to 24 hours ago. Most of the state is seeing a little bit of cooling. Some places a bit warmer like up in Joseph, but the cooling is the thing and the trend. Sunset tomorrow 9:04. We're into that window of our latest sunsets of the year. Tomorrow at sunrise, it's going to be cloudy. It'll be mainly cloudy throughout the day. Showers are going to hold off until later Thursday night. We won't get a lot of rain tomorrow, but Friday we're going to get some decent rainfall. And with a cool down on the west side, that means wind and low humidity on the east side, so a fire weather warning up for that area. Now, here's the satellite imagery. You can see with clouds that moved on through today and a couple thunderstorms developed in central Oregon, but that was it. Today's high was 91, but it is going to be much cooler in the days ahead. We're going to be seeing temperatures top out in the 60s, David. And again, we'll talk about how much rain in a bit.
Yeah, what a big change. Thanks, Matt.
I start freaking out a little bit. You know, it's not every day you see your little brother in a crash.
Well, new tonight, a volunteer firefighter in Cowlitz County pulls up to the scene of a crash to find his little brother inside the wreckage. That 17-year-old driver, who's also a volunteer firefighter, is thankfully improving tonight. KGW's Alma McCarty spoke to his brother about that frightening day on the job.
Out in Cowlitz County, an all-volunteer crew staffs this fire station. Among their ranks, Charlie Silvis.
And I'm a full-time resident, so I live in the fire station in Cougar. Other than that, everyone's just donating their time.
And his 17-year-old younger brother, Riggin Moran.
A couple days ago, we ran a pretty nasty call that morning. And I was like, okay, there's the one bad call for the week or the month.
But that, unfortunately, wasn't the case. Monday evening, Riggin was on his way home when troopers say a car crossed the center line and hit him head-on. The crash happened on Lewis River Road, about a mile away from the fire station. Washington State Patrol says that they are actively investigating, and they do believe that impairment was a factor. Charlie got the call to respond, but didn't initially know who was behind the wheel as he hurried to the scene.
I pull up and I see a red truck and I go, oh my goodness, that truck looks familiar. How do I know this guy? And then I'm like, oh, look at all those lights. This guy, I should know this guy. How do I not know? And then I have to drive through the scene to block traffic on the other end, and I see it's my little brother stuck.
He says he had to compartmentalize his fear and his shock, focus on getting both his brother and the other driver to the hospital. The fire chief, also on site, helped extricate Riggin from the truck.
Chief Eustace had to actually just go underneath his arms and pull him out, even though he was still trapped. Those screams were something else to hear, especially as I was holding the backboard underneath him.
Despite a femur broken in 2 spots and a couple of hip fractures, Charlie says his brother is on the mend.
Yesterday, I finally went through and was texting everybody who reached out, and me saying that Riggin was okay over and over and over again kind of solidified it. And now I'm doing a lot better than I was, knowing he's okay and joking around with me and whatnot.
In Cowlitz County, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Just glad they have each other. All right, less than 2 months before owners plan to shutter the Lloyd Center, some community members are making a last-ditch effort to save it. Two groups spoke before city councilors today advocating for changes to a development plan approved earlier this year. It calls for the demolition of the 60-year-old mall and the ice rink in favor of mixed-use housing, 6 acres of parks, plazas, and public spaces.
We don't think that chucking a mall that was redeveloped 10 years ago or remodeled 10 years ago and has served our community for over 60 years should just be chucked into our local landfills.
Owners of the mall are urging council to approve the master plan, calling the Lloyd Center no longer economically viable. Council plans to take a vote on July 8th, 1 month before the mall is set to close. In an update, the American response to the Hantavirus outbreak, remember that, on board the cruise ship in the South Atlantic, is now officially over. The 42-day quarantine period, wow, for the night 18 U.S. citizens potentially exposed on the ship, including a Bend doctor, ended on Sunday. I'm sure he's thrilled, right? Health and Human Services says there are no confirmed cases tied to the cruise in the U.S. Overall, 13 have been reported among patients internationally in connection with the outbreak, and 3 people died. Global health officials still working to figure out the exact source of the exposure.